welcome to another episode, folks, of Conversations with Geoff. Man, I was just backstage with the guest, and she is, boy, you just need to listen to me when I tell you, whatever you're doing over the next few minutes, stop, grab a comfortable chair, not too comfortable where you're going to sleep, and turn off everything else around you so you can take advantage of our coming guest, right? She's got some stuff around technology and the new world of communication and business, family life. Oh man, you don't want to miss any of it. All right. So please, please, please hear me when I tell you, get ready for somebody that's going to really just lay it out. We just had a blast in the background just a few minutes ago, right? So anyway, let me just get to some of the homework. You know, I always want to thank our team for putting this together. They're the ones that make all this stuff happen, all the stuff you're hearing about us. Thank you, team, for making that happen. And for all the folks in the community that have been supporting us, we love you. And you new folks that are coming in, we welcome you with open arms, baby, right? You picked the right place, you picked the right community. And we really appreciate the fact that you are either here live or you're checking us out on the recording, because we know your time is valuable, and it is a crazy, crazy world. May in particular is a crazy month, and you'll hear a little bit about that and maybe some things that you can do to kind of offset that anxiety and angst and really get into what's going on. Grab your peace back, right? How can we grab our peace back? But hey, listen, our purpose at Conversations with Geoff and mission is kind of the same, right? It's about correcting the narrative that I, like many of you, may have followed on and off throughout life. You know, that narrative, that stinking thinking that says, hey, who do you think you are? Why do you think you want to start a business? Oh, hey, what do you think you're going to go to college? You know, that noise that goes on, that chatter that holds people back, that limiting beliefs, right? And our mission is to help people become aware of the gift that we all have around the discernment gift that we can, as human beings, baby, you need to get excited about this, because anybody can do it. Anybody can do it. And what am I saying? Do what? Begin to change the direction of your life, create possibilities, opportunities that you've always wanted by simply being aware of the messaging that you're giving yourself each and every day, all throughout the day. Yeah, that I can or I can't. Or you're either saying maybe or I will. You're saying I think so or I must. Those are three things. And when you hear this, write that down, because that's your homework. Throughout the day, when you leave the show, think about how many times you say I can't versus I can. I will versus I must. Hey, the magic is once you become aware of it, you know what to do, because she's going to give you some things. Listen, I almost forgot to introduce myself. My name is Geoff Tyson, and I'm known as the Comeback King, baby. And I got that name from going through all the troubles in the areas that we focus on with our guests around health, wealth, and community, right? And the health and business and all that stuff, man, I've been through it. People look at me and say, man, coming alongside people to help big goals. There I am. Hey, never go away, baby. Right, so I'm going to start again. I was talking about our guest, Tobias, small business consultant with a specialty in coming alongside people to help them achieve their goals. With over 12 years experience, she has the experience it takes to guide you, to help you work and grow your business and turn it into a profitable, thriving company that is sustainable for your lifestyle. She will teach you how to get confident in the front of the camera so that you can create knockout marketing videos and photos. From there, to teach you how to connect and figure out the key things in digital marketing about know, like, and trust communication. Ladies and gentlemen, no further ado, technology, stay with us here, baby. Let me introduce to you our guest, Brook DeBoer. And I butchered her last name, but I'm sorry, Brooke, but we're going to bring her on here anyway. What's up, Brooke?
Yeah, you got it. No worry.
Oh, hey, well, thank you for hanging in here with us today and taking some time off your busy schedule. And you know, I kind of just gave a brief background of that, who you are. So maybe take a couple minutes and tell us who you are. We'll get busy.
Well, I like to start by saying, hi, my name is Brook DeBoer, and I have failed a bunch of times. I've failed more times than you can count. And I'm not afraid to share that with people because I've learned more from my failures than I did any of my successes. And some of my best ideas were born out of things that totally flopped. So I like to just get transparent right away, get real with people right away and say, you know what? It's okay if you feel like you're not rocking it out right now. If you feel like whatever idea you're in the middle of is hard and you're trudging through the valleys and you can't even see the light at the end of the tunnel, it is okay. I want to normalize that. I have been a business coach for the last 5 years. I've been in marketing and design for the last 12. I came from a family of entrepreneurs, and so running a business has always been in my blood. I've seen highs and lows, both with myself and in all the family businesses that we had. There were 8 entrepreneurs in my family, and I got to be part of each of their businesses as I was growing up. You want to know what I learned the most? What I didn't want to do. Right?
Yeah. I love that. And that's the best teacher, right?
Yeah.
I mean, figure out what you don't like or you're not good at and do that. So you said 8 different entrepreneurs. Wow.
Yeah.
That had to be just a crazy environment going up, man.
Yeah, I mean, it ranged from my mom having a jewelry business to my grandpa running a golf cart business to uncles being plumbers and electricians and house painters and all kinds of things. But the main running thread of it was that not many of them, maybe not any of them, were real intentional about their future. They were just living to make a paycheck regularly, which that's honest and that's, you know, to be respected, but they weren't sitting and actually working on the business. And even as a young person, I could see that was limiting them because they weren't thinking about an exit plan. They weren't thinking about how to leave a legacy for future generations. They basically bought themselves a job. And it's my passion to help other entrepreneurs not fall into the same trap, because most of us wanted the freedom that we get from being an entrepreneur. We didn't want to work a 9 to 5, have a boss, have somebody telling us what to do, how to do it, having to be somewhere that somebody else said every day. So we want all of those things, but we don't just want another job. Like as the person who's taking the risk, being the business owner and paying those independent business owner 30% taxes, we gotta be smart and we have to create something that's bigger than ourselves so that we can have that luxurious life that we dream of, so that we can leave a legacy, so that we can make a difference and feel like we made something matter, made an impact in the world that was far bigger than just working a 9 to 5 for ourselves.
Wow, you know, that's just amazing what you're sharing in there. I mean, you said so many things about, but the thing that screamed at me when you said is they bought themselves a job, you know, created, didn't have intention with their business, didn't focus on the legacy and the exit plans. I mean, those are things that people don't. It's almost like, you know, I'm gonna start my business, but I don't know what the end result is.
Right.
Yeah. And you were young, and you could look and see that. Wow. So
yeah. So I believe that even at the very beginning of your business, before you ever open your doors, you should know exactly how you plan, maybe not exactly, but have a pretty good idea of how you plan to sell that business for profit one day, because it will help you structure your business from the very beginning. Even if it's tiny, it'll help you structure that much differently than if you're just thinking about making money this month. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's really
Mhm.
powerful. What you just said again about planning, build your business,
Mhm.
sell it. When you tell people that, a lot of times they're like, "Oh, I don't want to sell my business. I want to keep my." They don't get it.
Eventually, you won't be able to do the job anymore, and maybe you'll wanna do something else, maybe you'll have conquered the industry that you're in and you want a new challenge at some point, and why not be able to sell a business instead of just selling off all the things that you bought for the business, you know?
And that's a big difference, right? Because usually when you
Yeah,
sell the business, there's some extra dollars and opportunities for you over a period of
that's
time,
what we
depending
want.
on how
Yeah.
you structure it, right? I mean, so it's just lots more ways. So go back, if you heard what she said, you new business owners or you had folks in business, because this applies across the board, right? And I'm guilty. First business, I got it to the point where I wanted to be able to sell it, but I didn't work on it like I should have. You know,
Yeah.
not until later and all that stuff. So I'm guilty of these things, and
Well, you probably learned a lot though, right?
I did. Learn school hard knocks is a tough way to learn, but yes.
But those lessons stick, right?
Yeah. Like gum on your shoe, you can't get rid of it, right? I mean, it sticks.
Exactly. I know. We learned so much more from our failures. And in fact, if I could do it all over again, I would keep the narrative that I've had on the journey up to this point because I've learned how to avoid burnout by being in burnout. I've learned how to balance running a family and a business and coaching people in business by not doing it well, by overextending myself and saying yes to everything. But I think I only am now able to have those boundaries because I didn't do it well, at least initially. So I like to help people learn from my mistakes so they don't have to go through everything that I went through.
Yes.
But, sometimes we have to learn on our own. But I try really hard to be able to be present as a mom. I have 3 young kids and run my business in a way that still makes them feel valued and seen and heard and never overlooked.
Wow.
I did you want to say something about
Yeah, I was
that?
just thinking that last episode, never overlooked, right? And we were talking
Yeah.
earlier about May, the time of year right now. Where, I mean, everything's at a heightened level.
So busy right now. Yeah.
So busy,
Yeah.
and so let's continue in this space for a minute, right? I
Yeah.
mean, you're a business owner, you're a coach, and
Mhm.
you are understand the power of who you are and time for yourself. You were laying some things out there, so let's keep going on that.
Yeah, I mean, right now, I feel like every single day, and this is not hyperbole at all, there is some activity for one of my 3 children at school or after school, and I'm running around like a crazy person, taking birthday treats to my daughter in the middle of the day yesterday and running a birthday party last night, but in the middle of it, and in the middle of the laundry and everything, I'm in the middle of transferring over my website from one platform to another, and I'm doing calls with clients, and I'm making sure that I'm meeting my goals for the month. And there's I don't have set hours like I would kind of love to, but
Yeah.
I
You're
I
not-
fit my life and my business in throughout the day, and sometimes it's not always super tidy, but I get it all done. So if I'm at a baseball game from 6 to 8, but I still have work to do, I might be working on my laptop, but I don't mind that because I get the flexibility to be able to be a mom and be present, but still have that feeling of productivity and like I'm contributing my gifts and talents to the world through my calling of helping people run their business. And so I don't mind that it looks a little untraditional, I guess you could say, but it's busy. And I think it's important to remember that even if you have a time that's really busy, or like if you're a parent and the kids are about to be home for the entire summer and you're just thinking, oh, how am I going to get my work done? It's important to remember that even just a little bit of progress each day really does add up to momentum over time. It's when we stop and we aren't making the progress, we aren't being intentional, we aren't looking at the business, we're just working in the business, that sometimes we can get off track of our goals. So even if you give yourself just a tiny bit of time every day to live out that intention, no matter how busy you are, you can feel like that's enough. And Geoff, earlier we were talking about how it's so easy to just feel like you're not enough as
Yeah.
an entrepreneur who's wearing so many hats,
Yeah.
no matter what your roles are in life or your responsibilities, there's only so much of you and there's a million cups to pour yourself into. So that's one reason why I take retreats. Actually, it's crazy. I take silent retreats a couple of times a year, and I go
Wow.
away for a few days just by myself. And I use that time to fill my cup as a person and as a business owner. And I actually get a lot of inspiration and ideas for things in my business when I do that.
Yeah.
But that's just one way that you can pour back into yourself during the times when you might have a little bit more margin so that you
Mhm.
can sustain yourself during the busy times like we're in right now.
Yeah. Yeah. So did you say a silent retreat?
Yeah. People always
No.
look at me like I'm crazy when I say that, but it's
I
actually
did.
quite powerful.
Yeah.
It's my
Yeah.
favorite thing ever.
Yeah. I haven't had a full retreat, but I've given myself a day of silence.
Yeah.
Or an hour or 2 hours of silence,
Mhm.
they say at least give yourself 30
Powerful.
minutes, yeah, not to think about anything and envision tranquility, peace, and all those power.
Mhm.
Wow. Yeah, I haven't heard people talk a lot about that. So kudos to you.
Yeah,
That
I mean, we'll have to have a whole nother conversation about the value of silent retreats, but it's
man,
one thing that I do, and it really does contribute to my confidence as a business owner too, because anytime you are being intentional with yourself and pouring back into yourself, any kind of self-development or reset, those are things that make you feel like I can do this job. I am not an imposter. I
yeah,
have what it takes. I'm well equipped. And it's almost doing a disservice to people in the world by not showing up and doing the thing that I'm equipped to do.
yeah,
So if you're ever feeling like an imposter, just remember that if you were to stay hidden under a rock and never let your light shine with whatever your gift and your talent is, then you are robbing the people of the world that might be able to benefit from what you have to bring to them. And it's easier to get out of bed in the morning and feel refreshed and ready to go, be part of your business each day when it's not just about you. It's about all the people that need you and all the people that, you know, wouldn't be able to do what they do without you and your particular influence in their life.
as I was listening to you, it was kind of like I wrote it down too. People need to understand that there's power in their pain. There's purpose in their pain.
Oh, absolutely. Mhm.
Oh man, right? I mean,
Those
just
are the good stories, right? I mean, we don't read stories without the heroine going through or hero going through a really rough time. But then you know what? There's a formula for every good story. I learned this one time that there's you know what I'm talking about.
I'm done.
There's You got your hero and they go through a hard time, a rough patch, or they can't find their way in the journey. And then you know what happens that helps them get through that? A guide enters the story that can see the path forward for them in a way that they can't see themselves because they're too in it.
Yeah,
So a guide comes along and walks beside them. They have the vision to lead them through the mountains, through the desert plain or the forest or whatever it is, and they walk together. And that guide is your business coach or your life coach.
yeah,
And they help you conquer whatever your personal thing is that you have to conquer and come out on the other side as the hero. And then they have this amazing story to tell, but if you didn't ever go through anything hard, if you didn't ever have anything challenging happening to you, that would be the most boring story on the planet and no one would want to listen to it.
I mean, it's unfortunate, but we want to hear about the grind. We want to hear about, the embarrassment. Yeah, because all of us are in one way or another experience that stuff.
Yeah.
And I love that you said that, and having a guide. When people hear guide or coach or somebody, a mentor, they start counting dollars in their head. Right?
Oh, every time they think, oh, that's going to be expensive. I probably can't afford that.
But then they'll go out and they'll do something, spend the same amount of money, right?
Trying to piece together a bunch of stuff. I mean, I'm guilty of it too. When I was first starting out, I didn't want to pay for a coach, but I got to this place where I realized I couldn't grow beyond a certain level without somebody that had some experience in how to do that. And so that was the first time that I hired a business coach, mainly to be a mentor and to help show me what is the formula that I'm missing, because I knew I want to grow, but I don't know how to do that.
Yeah. You're at that level where the next level, additional capabilities, skills, and experience, you have to get it.
Yeah. I mean, you can Google it till you're blue in the face, but with each person, they have a unique story and a unique place that brings them, or a unique path that brings them to the place that they are. And sometimes a coach can help you figure out what your next steps are going to be, or, what seems right for you, because so many of us are multi-passionate, right? We've got ideas of the yin yang, and we've got 12 ideas for 12 businesses and 12 programs, but you can't do everything, right? Or at least not all at once. So a coach often can help you figure out what is the next best step for you. Instead of trying to do all 12 things at once, they'll help you focus on that one thing so that you can get really successful with that. Do it well, finish it well, which is a tough thing for a lot of entrepreneurs, then move on to the next thing, because, ideas are wonderful, but we have to do something with them, right? And so a coach can help you with that follow through piece. And I will tell you this, it's not as expensive as you might think. And there's different levels of support. So for somebody who is just starting and they might not have a lot of extra income to devote to that, you can just work with a coach in one of their programs that's a lower level of support, but you still get a hand to hold, right? And then as you grow and you need more support, you can move up into the different programs that they have. But I was actually surprised myself at how affordable coaching was, because I thought of it as like business therapy, help me figure out the next thing forward, help me put my blinders on so that I can focus, and, help me figure out what is the thing that is going to make me most successful based on my story. Because, so now one of my programs, for example, is the On-Camera Confidence Marketing Academy. And I had a coach because I believe every coach has a coach and needs a coach, right? I had a coach that said, Brooke, what is something that you went through that was really hard for you that you overcame? And I said, well, I absolutely was so insecure about going on camera. I mean, look at me here. I'm on camera now, but for years, I wouldn't do it. I was a speaker. I wouldn't let anyone videotape me or take pictures. And do you know why? It's because I didn't want to watch it back. I didn't want somebody to force me to watch it back because I didn't like how I looked. I was okay with how I sounded and how I taught, but I just didn't want to look at myself because I was having body image issues. I took all the mirrors down in my house. So I really didn't want, or the mirrors that I did have were like, up high. So I could only see my face and not my midsection that I was feeling insecure about. And I can say that now because I've talked about it so much, and it took away the shame, but I was really feeling shame. And so it held me back from being able to be the online business owner that I wanted to be, because if you don't let somebody take your picture or your video, it's really hard to convey your expertise online, right?
Yes, yeah. You're telling my story too, though, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, people say, well, Geoff, do you go back and look at your videos? And I'm thinking to myself, no, I really haven't. But the truth, can I just tell the truth?
Yeah, please.
I didn't think, I didn't want to, I just didn't feel like I was worth looking at, watching.
I get it.
Wow.
A lot of people feel that way, and I didn't know it until I started talking about it.
Yeah.
Most people don't want to admit it, right? Because that feels there's shame.
Yeah,
and
I was embarrassed. I was embarrassed to look at my
embarrassment. All those ugly feelings. Yeah. And we don't want to share that. We want to share the highlight reel, right? With the filter.
I'm gonna do a series of bloopers I made. Just
those are the best. That's why people love bloopers, because they love the fails. But so that coach, she said, well, that's the thing you need to teach. She said, have you overcome that? And I said, well, I'm not 100% confident, but I'm so much further through that process than I was several years ago.
Yeah.
And she goes, do you think you could teach about that? And I was like, I bet a lot of other people are struggling with this, and I have some perspective and a little bit of success with figuring it out. So yeah, I think I could teach about it. And then I put together a program, and as I was teaching about it, I was learning too. Yeah. And every time I would teach it, I actually got more confident with my students. And I told them, you guys, I'm not 100%. I figured it all out. This is the path, and I'm the expert. I just said, hey, I'm facilitating a class, and I want to talk about this topic. And maybe I have some things to contribute, but I am not coming at this as I've got it all figured out expert, I'm going to write a book kind of thing. And there was beauty in that. People loved that I didn't try to be something that I wasn't, or try to be more authoritative than I really felt. And I got to be real, and I got to just have fun with them. Yeah. And so I just want to say, if you've gone through something hard, and if you feel like you're even 2 steps ahead of somebody else who might be struggling with that, you can create a program out of that. You can teach it and just be transparent. And there are actually people who will sign up to do that with you, because people like that kind of authenticity and vulnerability in a world of filters and perfection, because we're over it, right? We just want real people talking about real stuff that we struggle with. And so that's kind of how I found my footing when it came to having a group program. And I love the fact that I don't have to pretend to be perfect, because that's exhausting, right?
Wear you out, Brooke. It's like, man, oh, that's so true. Oh man, just show up and be you.
And people say that, but it's hard to figure out sometimes, what does that mean?
Yeah.
Everyone says, just be you. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, who am I? I mean, you can be in midlife and still feel like you don't really know who you are or what you're supposed to do in this world. And I think there's shame in that too, because we think we're supposed to have this figured out by now, right? Yeah. We're supposed to know what we want to do when we grow up.
Why don't I know? There's something wrong with me. All that noise that goes on, right?
Yeah, but everybody's feeling that. It's just that, it helps to have these kind of conversations where we name it for what it is. But being an entrepreneur really is just figuring it out as you go, step by step, every day, making a little bit more progress every day. And then one day you'll look back and say, hey, I made something that really matters. I built a legacy because I was intentional. And now I have something that contributed to the world that I can leave to future generations or to my neighbor or whatever. And, we don't like to talk about it, but you can leave the earth feeling like at peace, like you have no regrets because you did something that really was intentional instead of just living your life from, the perspective of what everyone else wants you to do or whatever is easiest or whatever brings home a paycheck. What are you going to want to be able to say about your life when you get to the end and feel good about letting go because you made something that mattered?
Well, I'm just sitting here listening to you, and the image of a tombstone came to my vision, and it was about the dash in between there, right? And that's the message. You're born and you're gone. What's your life say in between, right? And you're just laying it out. Woohoo, girl, man.
Think about that dash. Yeah, what is in that dash?
What's in the dash, bro? Is it going to be what you're talking about? Is it going to be, your kids, man. I don't care if things change tomorrow. You left something your kids can look at.
Yeah.
Huh? And do that. And you started out that person. There's some other things that we don't have, don't have time to get into now. So tell people, I want to make sure people know how to get a hold of you.
Yeah. Geoff, I feel like we could talk for days. You and I are so on the same wavelength about this stuff, but because we're limited on time, if you want to get a hold of me, my email is hello@Brook DeBoer, and it's Brooke with an E, so BROOKE DeBoer, DEBOER, or my website is brookdeboer.com. And, I even give out my phone number for people to text me because, why not? So my number is 616-730-1848. Feel free to text me. I love to have conversations with people because I could talk shop about business for the rest of my life in a booth with anyone forever for free because it's my favorite thing to do.
And it shows, my friend.
I like to talk about making things matter, and whatever it is that your business is, there is something that you can do to contribute good into the world. You can use your business as a ministry, and it doesn't have to be labeled a ministry or a nonprofit. I love talking about that kind of stuff because we're here in the world to shine a light and make a difference, and we can do that through our daily work. And so if you'd like to get a hold of me and talk about any of that kind of stuff, I would love to have a conversation with you. And I just want to say thanks for having me on the show today, Geoff. You are definitely the comeback king, and I think it's awesome that you do the show.
Thank you for doing that. So do you have anything that you can leave these folks with that here's later on or there that they can take away?
Yeah, right. We talked about giving them some tangible tips. So when it comes to on-camera confidence, if you're thinking, okay, well, it's one thing to just say, I want to be more confident. How do I do that? Well, you can go through my program that I developed to help you do that and get lots of practice. Or if you're kind of the DIY type and you just want to try a couple things on your own, what I would suggest is the very first thing is use your phone, make a little video. It can be under a minute, recording yourself. It can be super imperfect, and then post it without watching it back. Okay? Because that's the hardest thing.
Yeah.
Right? Just don't even watch it. Don't edit it. Don't look at it.
Hit the button and run away.
That's the first step. Okay.
Yeah.
Once you've done that, then you can do this thing that I call mirror work. So it's you in a mirror, and you just look into the mirror and you talk to yourself as if you're a friend. So it's going to feel cheesy, and that's okay, but you're going to say, "Hi, Brooke, your hair looks really good today. You're having a great hair day, and you're going to give yourself some compliments. Whatever it is, try to find something good to say about yourself like you would a friend. Practice being nice to yourself just in the mirror and doing that daily. Do that for 5 days in a row. Just say one nice thing. I promise you'll start to see yourself a little bit different in that mirror after you do that, because for years, what I would do is I would look in the mirror. I would only look at my face, even if I was forced to be in front of a full-length mirror when I was trying on wedding dresses. I'd only look at my face, and then I would squint my eyes because I was trying to only see one part of myself. I just really didn't want to look at the whole thing. And my mom actually pointed out, "Why do you squint your eyes when you look in the mirror?" And I realized it was a habit I had developed for coping with not wanting to look at myself. And so if you can start to feel some love for yourself in the mirror, gradually you can back up and start to look at your full self with a full length mirror. I'm happy to say I can look in a full length mirror today without squinting, but it's taken a lot of practice to be able to do that. And then the third thing is to maybe schedule yourself to go live. If you have a group on Facebook or Instagram or wherever, if you can schedule yourself one time a week to go live and just talk to your people in your group and be able to make that connection, because you can't really shake their hand because you're not in the same room, but you can make an eye connection and they can get a feel for who you are, how you speak, what your personality is like, just through that video. And you'll be able to develop some deeper relationships while also practicing that video work. So even if it's for 10 minutes once a week, the more you do that, and the more you repeat that, the more you will start to feel comfortable on camera. So those are 3 kind of starter things you can try. And, the biggest thing is that it takes a lot of repetition. It takes intention to do it. So if you can put it on your calendar, that will help you a lot.
I love that. Those are just 3 powerful things. And it takes me back to when I first picked up this thing that felt like 1,000 pounds, right?
Yeah.
And hi, my name is.
And look at what you're doing now. It's so cool.
Oh, thank you for saying that. Thank you for sharing your message.
Yeah, of course.
And we'll have to come back with some really intentional subject matter that I know people need to hear more from you. Brooke, it's been a blast. I really, really, really enjoyed talking to you today. And I know people that are going to hear this recording and those that showed up got a lot. Go back and listen to it. She put her information in there. You would be crazy, people, what this young lady has said to you. So, thank you. Thank you.
It's been a lot of fun. Thanks.
Yeah. Take care, and we'll talk again, okay?
All right. You too. Bye now.
Ooh, hey, listen. Man. I told you. You think I was joking? And this was we just scratched the surface on a lot of things in here, but she talked about, family and balancing and being intentional and being, if you're a business owner working on your business, prepare your business so that you can sell it later. Wow. And not just give it away. I mean, have value around that. That is powerful. Business owners or people getting ready to start your business. I mean, everybody can use that piece and then work backwards from there. A family of 8 entrepreneurs, 8 different entrepreneurs. Wow. Hey, the lady knows what she's talking about. So please, please, please go back. Go back through this. There's a lot of stuff in there that you can take away. If you DIY, you want to do it yourself, there's a lot of things in here that you can do. So this is just another intention that we want to bring to you around the self-development piece, right? Those of you worrying about how you look, squinting her eyes so she couldn't see herself. Come on, man. You wouldn't know it today, would you? No, you would not. Why do you think that is? Because she has done what we've always talked about on our show. She's made a decision to do something different, took action that she's talking about, just like you can. And you can show up just like she has today. So I'm going to wrap it up with a couple things. You know, I always got to say, ask you to do a couple things. One of them, I'm going to leave here today. Take what she said. If you're looking to get into the digital world and grab a camera, can't miss out. What she's talking about is powerful stuff. It really is, and it works. And begin to do a couple things. You want to change one statement that you're making that's not helping you. That's a limited statement, limiting statement. You know what that is. Oh, I'm so stressed out, I can't take another blah, blah, blah. Oh, I'm so tired, I just want to blah, blah, blah. Oh, I don't think I can do that because my neighbor across the street said I shouldn't. Whatever that crazy noise is, replace that. Pick one habit and one belief. Those three things, you can pick one of those three and begin today. Begin to make a difference in your life. And remember this, your thoughts create your words, and your words create your action, and your action has been driven by your energy. Which way do you want to be? I can tell you, go back and listen to what this young lady dropped today. You can't help but be on fire. So reach out to her and